With the weekly Paleo report. The first one for the year 2018. It is January 3rd. I'm over here on a beach in Mexico celebrating the new year with some friends, a little north of Ixtapa, and found this little river where the river meets the ocean, meets the playa. Moon is over here in the sign of Leo today. Went in there around 2 o'clock this morning and is in Leo until Friday, where she goes into Virgo. Stays in Virgo Friday, Saturday, Sunday she goes into Libra. Stays in Libra through Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday she goes into Scorpio. Got a nice moon trine the sun on Saturday. Very nice. Also Saturday. I mean, what's going on really is there's not so much, okay, happening exactly except for today. Today, and this is what I really want to talk about a lot and what the mantra has to do with, is Mars squaring the moon's nodes. We had Jupiter square the moon's nodes, and now Mars, the sword, is coming up to square the moon's nodes, going through that sign of Scorpio. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, okay? And Mars comes up and conjuncts Jupiter on Saturday. So this weekend we have quite a number of exact aspects. Mercury trines Uranus all week, but it's exact on Saturday. Mars has been traveling conjunct Jupiter for quite some time, but it is exact on Saturday. Mercury comes up and squares Chiron, exact on Saturday. So, and the big, the big trip, I mean, you know that the Sun and Venus have been traveling together. They visited Saturn first. Then they went to visit Black Moon Lilith. And now, on Monday, we have an exact Venus-Sun-Pluto conjunction within like 5 minutes of each other. That's what the chart is at the beginning, okay, of the report. If you look at that chart, you will see, okay, 18 degrees 58 minutes for the Sun and Venus, and Pluto is at like 1902. Whoa. Talk about visiting the depths of the underworld. Yeah, this is our Venus-Sun-Pluto conjunction. And Mars squaring the nodes. So anyway, wanted to give you a little shot of the surfers out here on the beach. But I know people don't like the wind noise or the sound of the waves. So I think I'm probably going to go right back down the river a little bit to actually look at the camera and do the report. All right, everybody, Happy New Year. I mean, it hasn't been the happiest New Year for me. I don't know about you, but I got sick, I got this chest cold, and a stuffy nose, and it's been kind of like an overwhelming kind of holiday season for me. And these aspects are pretty intense. I mean, this Saturn and Lilith and Capricorn, and of course we're doing this whole E-course on Saturn now, and that's, duty, responsibility, showing up for work, in the midst of a holiday, like, happy holidays, with like all of these burdens and responsibilities and duties hanging over your head. And then at the same time, we've had this Jupiter, Mars moving through Scorpio, bringing on all this emotional intensity and relationship dynamics and transformation. And wow, I mean, these are really big times. And like I was thinking this morning, this is kind of like a death rebirth, which is what Scorpio is all about. And this Jupiter-Mars moving through Scorpio is bringing about a death and a rebirth. The rebirth happens more when they move into Sagittarius. I hate to say it, but Jupiter's moving into Sagittarius next October. So 2018, it's not like the fun never stops, but you know, this can be a pretty intense year. Yeah, I mean, full of also a lot of rewards and a lot of abundance. And Jupiter can bring us a lot of power, financial power, you know, deep intimacy, deep connection that transforms our, you know, the very roots and bottom of our soul. I mean, this is so, it's really intense and powerful, but it's not always easy. There is also, you know, always involved with this, and particularly now. Sun and Venus closing, okay, a year-long cycle. It was, you know, since the, you know, like they conjoined with Pluto, okay, a year ago. Sun goes around once a year, so does Venus. So it was a year ago, and now, you know, they've gone and they've done their whole journey through 2017, and they're coming up and they're in this balsamic conjunction until Monday. And we know the balsamic is the ending and the finishing and the closing and completing of that cycle. So it's wrapping things up. And part of wrapping things up is dealing with everything that we have not dealt with, looking at everything that we have not looked at, processing everything that we have maybe avoided or denied or ignored or suppressed, and oh, I don't want to look at that or deal with that now. But you know what? Before you can begin the new cycle, before you can start off, this, you know, brings up, that's why this 12th house in Pisces is the house and sign of chaos. Okay, it's like, because all this stuff comes up, you know, like 52 card pickup. Oh, I didn't see that card. Oops, didn't see that card. Oops, didn't see that card. I mean, so this can be a time of, you know, like, oh wow, you know, it kind of surprises, not always of a sweetness, okay, but unfinished. And that somewhat relates to karma. Yeah, I did Saturn, the Lord of Karma, is the module I'm doing in Google Classroom this week. So anyway, so this closing will, next week then, boom, we start another new cycle. That's the thing about these cycles, is they end only to begin again. Spring dies, and here comes summer. Summer dies, and here comes fall. So the wheel keeps on turning. These cycles of evolution, they keep on, I like to say, spiraling, okay, higher and higher and higher. So the big point that I have here, you know, is that Mars squaring the nodes is the scalpel, the knife, the machete. And it's, you know, the square to the node says this has to be done before you can move to the north node. Before you can move out of that south node, you've got to cut the cords. Use your machete, use your knife, use your masculine force of determination, of will, of desire, to really focus on Leo. The north node is in Leo. And the Aquarius-Leo axis, this nodal axis that's going on for a year and a half now, you know, the eclipses are in Leo and Aquarius this year. Coming up in February, a solar eclipse happening, yeah. But anyway, lunar eclipse in late January. This has to do with coming out of Aquarius, out of, oh yes, looking down at the world from my little glass bubble or my laboratory or my, you know, glass box where I can't be hurt and I'm not attached and I'm not in it. I've got that eagle point of view where I see everything, and descending down into Leo, bringing the future, Aquarius, into the present, Leo, bringing the vision, Aquarius, onto the stage and dramatically acting it out, dramatically creating it, really stepping into the limelight, onto the stage, gambling, Leo, risking, playing. So, you know, to come in and to really, we have to cut the cords, and maybe it's letting go of some visions or some dreams or some fantasies or some, future, conceptions that are not going to manifest. Or it's some relationship or some business or some, project. And at the same time, we're giving birth. This is a time of giving birth. We just had Jupiter cross this point. Now Mars is crossing this point. And we've had Sun and Venus cross over Saturn. So, and after Pluto, we're really beginning this new birth. But I'm feeling like the birth has kind of been through, we've been going through this push. Okay, I've been talking about it through November and through December. Breathe, push. We're giving birth, it's like intense. And I really feel like the birth is kind of, it's happened. Like we kind of see now. We know now. We are in the place of the elder. We are in the sign of Capricorn. We know what the future holds, what we need to do. We've kind of let go of our own personal ego desires. I talked about that, Leo through Scorpio. And now we're moving into our transpersonal responsibility to the planet, to the community, to the children and their children. And it's really time to step up. So some of us may be cutting cords with limiting conditions, relationships, environments, jobs, yes, that are just holding us back. And I look at it as cutting the umbilical cord. It's like the birth has already happened. And even, some people don't even cut the umbilical cord. They just kind of let it, kind of like waste away. That takes a longer time. But yeah, in most cases, there's a scissors or a knife involved, and there is this cutting. And that umbilical cord has been our juice. It's been our lifeblood. It has been the source, okay, of all of our nourishment. Very scary to cut that cord, to let go of that external support. Of, like in the fairy tales, the stepmother is like the earth, the earth mother, the physical mother. And to totally throw ourselves into the arms of the goddess, the eternal Gaia mother, that powerful feminine energy within everything and around everything, taking it off of maybe a person or a relationship or a family member or something, and like surrendering ourselves to the great Gaia. That's like this cutting of the cord that needs to happen so that we can move into that Leo creativity, our unique, original child, playful self that can really happen in 2018 with this North Node in Leo. It's going to be really powerful, and Mars is moving on. It's not going retrograde. In a few weeks, like 3 or so, Mars will move into Sagittarius. And so we also have this time, Mercury trine Uranus is showing us a vision of the future on Sunday, but all this week. And Mercury square Chiron, sorrow and grief. There's grief and sorrow with every cutting of the past, with every loss, with every surrendering of something that was beautiful and precious and is no longer serving our future soul growth. So you may be one that is cutting the cord. You may be one who someone is cutting the cord, for you or on you. And this is just like the flip side of the same coin. Scorpio has to do, okay, with loss, betrayal, and abandonment. And these 3 issues are when we become emotionally attached to conditions and situations and relationships and people that are no longer serving our evolutionary growth. And so they get taken away. They betray us, abandon us, go on, without us, whatever, die even in some cases. Okay, and we are left, we are abandoned. And so there's also the flip side of that coin. One is actively making the change and the transformation, and another is subconsciously or unconsciously, you know what? I'm done with this. I can't learn any more here. I need to move on. I need to go, but maybe my ego's not aware, or not strong enough, or not willing enough, or my emotions are like really attached, to some vision of something. And so it's getting taken away from me. It's like, I didn't want to give birth. I liked being pregnant. Whatever, Oh, man. In one way or the other, the big thing at this point is gentleness. Being gentle with each other. And that's what the mantra is about. Doing these partings and these separations and these losses or whatever they are, even the gain into a new, it's just like, really, whether you're leaving or being left or things are, changing in your life, forgiveness, acceptance through meditation, that Spirit is guiding, every move, every change, every transformation. Sometimes I don't understand it and I don't see it. It's great mystery. Scorpio has to do with great mystery. But let's keep our hearts open and have as much gentle, loving care through these transitional times as we possibly can. Yeah? And try to reduce the amount of trauma. Try to reduce the amount of shock. Okay, and try to ease, through this transitional period of this death and letting go, so that we can be born again in 2018 in a new way, without so many wounds to heal, without so many scars. So, ho'oponopono, having mercy, forgiveness, and thanking. Gratitude, thanking each and every condition, situation, job, environment, boss, parent, whoever it is that you are, having, some challenges. Mars and Scorpio's conflict of values. We have different set of values. And for us to really fully experience, our beliefs and our values and ourself, it's not working in this container. So having gratitude that, thank you very much. I've been in this oven of this condition and situation for a given period of time, and I'm getting out of the oven now. And I want to thank the oven. Thanks for baking me. Now I'm done. Instead of like, you rotten oven, I was raw cookie dough, until I met you. Now I'm baked. It's so much freaking attitude, isn't it, man? It's just like, you look at life, you look at all this stuff going on, and it's just, you interpret it, according to your beliefs and your values, and these evolve and change. So, evolve and change, man. Let's get on with the mantra, wrap it up, yeah? So, what is it again? Doggone it. When cutting the cords that hold me back, tying me to the past, I open my heart and use loving care, so as not to make such a mess. It can get messy. Birth is messy. Life is messy. Let's just face it. Acknowledge it. We go into chaos. The underworld of death is not knowing. And we move through it, and the sun rises from that midnight point. So it is messy. But it can be more or less messy depending upon, you know, your fear. If you're really afraid to move on, you just may do it suddenly and rapidly, and I've got to go, and I've got to chop, 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 you know, and then it's, you know, what do they call that? Collateral damage, you know? You know, just like face your fear, own your fear, and yes, I am afraid, but I'm going to care about the other. I'm going to care about you. I'm going to try to do this smoothly, gently, with love. Okay? So, yes, indeed. One more time. When cutting cords that hold me back, tying me to the past, I open my heart and use loving care so as not to make such a mess. May you not make such a mess. Clean up after yourself. Heal as much of those wounds as you can. And live the fullest, brightest life full of love that is ever possible. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.